So she comes out and she kind of stands behind Boris, and he's like, "This is Rosie, as you can see, much larger." What do you do? Oh, what are you rolling for?
Sneaking.
Yeah, no, you succeed. Where are you sneaking to?
He fucking levitates. He's like, oh.
No, he just like does the fucking predator thing. You flash the peace sign and then you're just fucking out. So where are you going to reappear?
Behind the Tarrasque.
Okay, you successfully do that. I'm going to count this. If you're going to attack it, I'm going to count this as a continuation of combat, so you're not going to get another chain lightning attack, but you can attack with your lightsaber. And that will initiate combat, then you will roll initiative.
I'm going to shank it in the butthole.
Okay, you're going to get an attack of opportunity, which means you're going to get a +2 to that. So you can roll. That's a 5, so you just kind of whiz around, but you're still so hidden because of your armor, it doesn't notice you're standing behind it. Neither does Boris, by the way. They're just like, where the fuck did he go? Now, Boris looks at the rest of you, because the rest of you he can see, and he says, "Look, I have Rosie here. She's not that happy, as you can see. Why don't you give me my weapons, and then we can leave, and then you don't have to go through such a very painful death."
A painful death, huh? Well, let's just see about that.
Are you going to attack?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to attack the Tarrasque with what?
Hell, fuck it, I'll use my Flame Strike.
Okay, so roll to aim and hit on that. Okay, that hits, so you can roll damage. So that's going to be 5d6 fire damage. Okay, nice. So that's 20 fire damage. So that is going to hit for 20 on him, I'm going to say, because that's kind of a blindside attack. That's going to initiate combat with the Tarrasque, so you're all going to have to roll initiative again.
Except me, because I'm still essentially in the shadows.
Yes, you're in the shadows, so you're protected, so you won't have to. All right, the Tarrasque rolled a 19. First is the Tarrasque, then next is going to be... Okay, so Velnos, that's not going to reveal you. Are you... So that's not going to reveal you or anything, so you can do that passively before combat starts. So Velnos sends a mental message using one of his powers that he gets from the Cataclysm Sword, which is suggestion. And he's going to do that to tell Gertrude to remove the nuclear shell from the cannon and load up a normal shell. So she and Fleetwood are both able to do that and load up a normal shell, putting the nuclear one back in the chest for safekeeping until it's needed to be used. So before combat happens, that happens. Raka, Kane, Vash, and then Cham, and Velnos is kind of off. So the first thing that's going to be able to go is going to be the Tarrasque, unless Velnos, you would like to do something before it has a chance to attack your friends.
Shoot it in the face with the cannon.
Are you going to also put that into your suggestion to Gertrude?
Yes.
Okay. So because Gertrude got that mental suggestion, the only people that are going to be in the blast radius for the shell, if it misses, is going to be Velnos, because he's right below the Tarrasque. You guys are a little bit further away from it. So if it misses Velnos, you are going to take the damage from that.
I don't care.
Unless you are able to dodge out of the way after the shell is fired, which you'll get a reactionary roll if it misses. If it hits, you don't need to worry about it. Okay, the shell is not going to hit. So Velnos, you're going to have to use telekinesis to try and guide it. Okay. You're not going to be able to do that, so roll for reaction to make sure you get out of the way. So you're able to get out of the way of the shell. The shell impacts harmlessly before combat begins. The Tarrasque is a little bit distracted, so it's going to lose one of its 6 attacks, which is the strongest attack, but it is still going to get the other 5. No, it's going to look at Kane first, because Kane is the biggest target in front of it. So it's going to roll against Kane, so this is a 1d12 attack. It misses. It's also going to use its other 1d12 to attack Kane. That one will hit. So that's going to be roll 1d12. So that's good. Kane, that's going to do 9 damage to the magic mech suit. Again, it has 150 health, so please mark that down. That does not affect your physical health.
Did I enter combat by doing that shit?
No, because it was a telekinetic thing that you did to tell Gertrude to do that, so it still doesn't notice you, and you were able to move yourself out of the way quickly enough to avoid the blast. So it still does not know that you're behind it. That's why you don't have a combat order yet.
Oh, okay.
All right, so it took 9 damage, so then hang on a sec. So its next attack is 2d12s. And it is also going to do that against Kane. So that's going to be 2d20. Both of those will miss. The large attack that it does is negated, so it's not going to do the 5d10, but it still has 2 attacks of 1d10, and it is going to use both of those attacks also on Kane, again, because he is the biggest target. Okay, that one will miss. That one will hit. So that is going to be 1d10. Okay, so that's another 10 damage. So Kane's mech suit took 19 damage. Okay, so now it's going to go down to Raka. So it's preoccupied with Kane right now, Raka, so it's not really looking at you.
All right, yeah, so I'm going to load up an Ice Bolt.
World Piercer. Okay, so you have the Ice Bolt is loaded up, so you can fire that again. You will not take an aim penalty if you're aiming at someplace specific.
No, I'm not aiming anywhere specific just right now. Just
okay.
Whack.
Yeah, that's gonna miss.
All right. Well, I mean, might as well just go fucking all out. I'm gonna use the staff.
Which one?
Oh my
Not-
god.
Not the random staff. The staff.
Yeah, you're going
with
to use the meteor crash staff.
Yeah.
Okay. Velnos, you are far enough outside the area where you're not going to be affected by this, and everybody else is going to be able to move out of the way with enough speed, so you're open to do that attack. It is an AoE. You do not need to roll to hit.
All right. So let's do this.
Roll your damage. 115 on that. So, okay, so you pelt that fucking thing with fireballs from the sky. They obliterate most of the area under it and most of the shit around it. Obviously, you guys are out of range at this point where you're not being hit by it. So that's 115 damage directly to it. So you torched that fucking thing, but it is still alive. So again, Velnos, you are not technically in the combat order, so you can do whatever you want when you want.
Cutting off the tail.
Shove it
off
up
the
his
tail.
pooper.
Okay, so that's going to be it's going to technically be a targeted attack, but since his tail's so big, I'm not going to give you a negative for it, so roll to hit. All right, so you're going to roll a 12, but since that's an attack of opportunity, and since he doesn't know you're there, I'm going to give that a +2, which is a 14. That will hit.
5d10s, right?
Yes, 5d10s, and it ignores armor. All right, so that's 26 damage. That is enough to lop that fucking thing's tail off. So you cut off the Tarask's tail, which now it knows where you are. So your order in the combat is going to be right after Kane now. So, but you are still behind it. All right, so he has 139 health left, and he's missing a tail. So Velnos, you did good on your attack. Vash, it goes down to you now.
I'll go for my my saber and I'll fucking strike him.
Okay, so you're going to move in and strike him with the saber. So you have enough range where you're going to be able to do that. So what is so roll to hit? That will hit.
Okay, so roll 1d6.
+1, yes. All right, so you do 6 damage to him. So you just kind of poke him in the foot. It's kind of painful, but he's not really paying that much attention to you. You're just kind of stabbing him in the foot like, fuck you. So, Cham, it's now down to you. All right, so that first one is, those are both going to hit. Okay, then use that. So it's 1d12 and 5d10s. Okay, so 24 plus 4, so that's 28 damage. So you cleave it right in the knee. So that's enough to actually get it to drop to one knee. So it's not going to be able to move around a whole lot from this point forward because you just cut all the tendons in its knee. So now it's in an area where it can't really do much attacking from far away targets, but at the same time, everybody but Raka is in close proximity to it. And it's going to get its full 6 attacks this turn. Actually, since it gets 6 attacks, I'm just going to roll 6d20 right now. The first 2 attacks are going to hit. The second 2 attacks are not going to hit. And the last 2 attacks are not going to hit. But the first 2 attacks are each 1d12. So we're going to roll for the 1d12. It is going to be attacking Kane again because Kane is still the biggest target. And also Kane did the most damage to it on the last turn with the meteor strike. All right, so Kane, it's going to do another 10 damage to you. All right, so now it's back to Raka.
Same shit. Fucking just going to try to freeze him again.
Okay, load up your ice bolt and roll to aim. It will hit.
It does. And he's frozen because I rolled higher than a 15.
Yep, that's true. That means he's frozen for a turn. All right, so that's another 40. So yeah, you did roll 7 of them. So yeah, all right, so that's another 40 off of its health. So she's not looking too good, but she's also frozen solid. So now Kane, it's down to you.
Oh yeah, let's do the cannon. That sounds fun.
Okay, the cannon, if I remember correctly, does 2d10 damage if it hits. So you're going to have to aim. However, since he's frozen, this is going to be aggravated damage. Yeah, you missed. You missed wide right. So it kind of zings past her and just kind of impacts out of the way. Boris looks over and claps because you blew up the inn. So the inn building is now leveled in addition to the barn.
Man, fuck your inn. I was in it for that anyway.
Okay, so now it goes down to Velnos.
While it's frozen, I'm just gonna try and climb on its back and shove the sword into its face.
Okay, so you're gonna need a
Dexterity roll.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dexterity roll to climb up the side of it, which is gonna be a minor action. I'm gonna say that works because you get pluses to that because of the suit. The attack, you're not gonna have to roll to attack; just roll damage because it's not going anywhere. It's completely stunned, and you're standing above it. You shouldn't have to roll to attack that. All right, 32 damage
32.
directly to its brain.
Then it's a crit.
Yeah, it's going to be a crit because that's going to be 64 damage. He's down to 1 health. The Tarask has 1 health remaining. Ash, you can literally just poke this thing and it'll die. Just roll to hit. Roll a d20 to hit. You missed.
What? I mean, I could queef in its face and then Cham could fuck it in the ass till it dies. So, I mean, there's that.
I mean, if you just want to queef in its face, then you could just queef in its face. I'm not going to make you roll for that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, then I'll do that.
Okay, so you queef in its face. So you just grab onto that. You just grab onto that snout. You just go away. You just make that thing all bad, smelly. Cham, you critted, so you're gonna use the cod piece. So roll for damage on the cod piece.
Just dry hump it till it dies.
Okay, so that's gonna double. So it's gonna be 10 damage. So that is enough to kill it. So basically, the way it happens is you go right up to the Tarask's leg, and you grab onto its leg, and you give such a mighty thrust that the entire creature shatters into dust. So, but the Tarask is dead. Now, Boris is looking at it and says, "Oh my, you killed Rosie. She was my workhorse, you know? She was the one that always used to do the tough shit, so I didn't have to break out Karen, but I have to break out Karen. Karen!" And he snaps his fingers again. And you see from the water that's actually not too far away from the area that you're in.
I swear to God, it's a turtle dragon, I swear.
No, it's not a turtle dragon. It is a kraken.
What do you guys think? Should we use the head? The warhead?
It is a distance enough away where you could probably use it effectively without hurting yourselves.
I'm down.
Trip on Gertrude and just
Fuck it, let's use it.
Gertrude and Fleetwood already see this thing, and they are loading up the nuclear weapon, the MWMD, into the cannon. The cannon is ready to fire, so it's far enough away where it just emerged, so nobody's rolled initiative on it yet. So I'm going to roll for them to aim this thing. They don't need to aim very well because it has a 100-foot radius, or 100-yard radius. Okay, that's going to hit, because like I said, it doesn't have to be very high. So that's 50 D10s of damage, and you guys are probably going to want to take cover, because even though it's not going to do blast,
I'll just stand behind Kane.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. If all you guys want to stand behind Kane or something.
Yeah, I'm standing behind Kane.
That's 270 damage. You look out and you see just a green streak flying across the sky as the Robert II's deck gun fires out the nuclear weapon. You watch it as it impacts the area near the Kraken, and a flash of blinding light occurs, followed shortly after by a large shockwave that knocks over most of the buildings near the blast, and then a mushroom cloud begins moving upward through the sky. However, as this happens, you hear the Kraken yelling in pain from the center of the mushroom cloud as it emerges and claws its way onto the beach. You will all have to roll for initiative after the attack. Kraken. All right, the Kraken rolled a 20. It's going to go the Kraken. Mash, Kane.
Belnos, then me, and Raka.
All right, so the order of combat is set. The Kraken is going to be able to go first. So the Kraken is going to move towards you. Now, Kane, again, you are the man in front right now because everybody else kind of piled behind you. So it's going to aim at you. So everybody else is going to have a chance to make a minor action to move out of the way of this. But Kane, you're going to have to try and take it if it does hit.
Bring it on.
So, because it's a large-scale attack, that is going to hit Kane.
If a trick works once, it works twice. I rolled to sneak
Oh, okay. So that 17 was to roll to sneak where exactly?
away from the Kraken.
All right, you're able to sneak away so that it no longer sees you. You no longer have an order in combat. However, once you reveal yourself, your original order in combat will be restored. That does 20 d6 damage, and it's going to happen to the mech suit.
Bring it on.
That's 83 damage directly to the mech suit. So it flattened you like a pancake. And the mech suit's pretty dinged up.
38 health left.
It's got a lot of damage to it. The arm cannon has been damaged to the point where it will not fire anymore. You can still use the physical attacks for it, and you can also still move around in it to a decent degree. But you're going to need to charge it up for the next turn because it's already been going for 3 turns in previous combat. So it now, with the damage, it's going to need to recharge. Okay, you rolled a 13, so it's going to recharge on your next turn, but you'll get 3 turns after that, assuming that it makes it to that point, because you might get attacked again. So, Vash, you're next. So, Vash, you're going to be able to attack the Kraken.
Well, I'll use Wall of Blades.
All right, so if anything touches it, it does 6d10 damage to the creature that comes inside of it. Now, you have placed that blade barrier around your guys, and the thing is, your guys are going to be able to pass through it, but the Kraken cannot pass through it to get to you. So that's going to be your turn, and then it will go to Kane, who's recharging, so we're going to go past him, then it's going to go to Velnos.
I'm gonna combine pleasures and be an absolute filth lord.
You're going to go right for the junk. Okay, so that's going to be some movement, so it doesn't know where you are currently, so that's going to be an attack of opportunity. So you're going to get a +2 to that. All right, so that's 12. So I'm going to say that hits because your weapon ignores AC. Okay, yeah, because it's a targeted attack, that's going to double. So you move in and slice it right in the groin. That means that is going to take, 66 damage?
Yeah, 66.
You slice into its vagina. So you just gave it a bigger vagina, which still pisses it off.
It's a giant cunt.
Yes. Well, it is named Karen. So you do that, but now you are revealed to it, so it knows where you are, and you are also right under it. So Cham, it now goes to you.
Could I even get to it in this turn?
I'm going to say that you're going to be able to because Velnos was able to, but even though he has a bit more movement speed, he was able to get all the way to the testicles. You're just going to be able to get to like the hands and the face. Both of those will hit the first one will crit.
Hell yeah. Come on, Chammy boy. Save the Mexican.
34 plus your D12 as well.
And it is
Okay, so that's going to be 35 damage. Cham, you're able to go up and you slice him right across the face. Or her right across the face. So that's going to be a nice little scar there if this thing actually survives, which it probably won't. And it's now thoroughly pissed. So it might go against you since the mech didn't actually move on the last turn. Raka, it's now your turn.
All right, so this time I'm going to use lightning arrows.
Okay. It is still physically wet. So you're going to get it's going to do an additional D10 to the elemental damage. So it's going to be a total of 8 D10 worth of damage.
Well,
okay, that misses. So it misses, and the lightning arrow goes harmlessly into the woods. So now it is back up to Karen, the fucking Kraken. So she's actually going to go after Cham now because Cham did some damage, and the mech suit was not the best. Okay, so that's a 15. So, Cham, I'm going to give you one shot to try and dodge this. Okay, you don't dodge this, so this is going to hit. That's 70. What is your HP?
80. Well, I have 85.
Okay, so that flattens you out pretty bad. You're going to be in a prone position for another turn, and like I said, he does 70 damage to you, so you're down to 15 health. So he just pancaked you on the ground. He just flopped you. So now it's going to go down to Vash again. And Vash, you're still within striking range.
Recover!
All right, I'll use recover.
You're going to use the regenerate? Okay, so you can use the regenerate. So that's an automatic and it's an AoE effect. So that's going to return everything in the area to full health and remove all status effects. So Cham, you are now returned to full health and there are no static effects against you. So you are no longer stunned. So, all right. So Vash, that is going to be your turn. So, okay. So then it's going to go down to Kane in the mech suit.
All right. Well, I'm going to channel magic again and then use another lightning bolt.
Let's do this, baby. Come on, get a good hit. No!
You miss, and as the lightning bolt fires out of the arm of the mech suit, the arm is so heavily damaged that it actually falls off.
Fuck.
So you lost one of the arms on the mech suit. The other arm is still intact, but it may have been the force of the lightning bolt spell that dislodged that one from the actual arm. The suit itself is going to take another 1d10 damage. That's a 6, so it's going to take another 6 damage, so just keep track of that.
I got 24 health left.
So now it goes down to Velnos, and Velnos, you are in a very sensitive area.
Find in the chest.
Okay, you can slice it in the chest, that's fine. Because it's kind of like a salamander, it's like on the ground, so you can just roll to attack. Alright, that's not going to hit. So you just kind of swing and you graze it, but you don't actually get enough to go through the skin and down deep. And yeah, like I said, even with ignoring the AC, it's still pretty good. Cham, it is now your turn because you were revived and your status effects were taken away, so you're able to attack now. I'm going to say the first one will hit, the second one will not. All right, so that's 30 damage. So you slice it again, but it is still not dead. It still has 49 health remaining. Raka, it is now your turn.
All right. Lightning bolt again.
All right.
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt.
God damn it.
All right, so because that's a critical failure, I'm going to roll to make sure that doesn't hit anybody. Okay, it safely lands in an area where it doesn't harm any of your teammates, but it does miss the Kraken horribly. So it's going to go back up to the Kraken. The Kraken is mildly confused as to why Cham is still standing. And Cham just attacked him because Raka missed, so it didn't even notice that you missed with the bolt. So it's going to attack Cham again. That will miss. So
You fucked, loser.
So it just kind of flops on the ground and misses horribly. So now it's going to go back down to Vash. So Vash, you brought Cham back to life, but this thing is just kind of flopping around in front of you.
Okay, so it's basically just flopping around. It's like almost dead, basically. I'll pick out my saber and
Okay, that's going to hit Vash, so you can stab him in the foot.
I want to slice the fucking sole open, like the sole of his foot open.
Okay. Roll 1d6 plus 1, and that's going to be multiplied by 2. All right, so 4. So you did 8 damage to the sole of his foot. So you sliced the sole of his foot, so he's going to be in some pain walking around for a little bit. Now it goes down to Kane again in the mech suit, so you still have a chance to attack. However, you do only have one arm remaining, and you do not have the cannon anymore.
I mean, there's not a lot I can do.
You can still use your mage powers. It's just going to damage the suit further.
Yeah. Well, might as well go out with a bang, right?
What are you gonna do?
Should I use the staff of reality?
Oh god, you're gonna do something horrible.
Let's do it.
Okay, roll the staff. I still have the 100 effects up. 58. Fire breath for 1 action. So now it breathes fire. So it can do that on the next turn. So I'm going to have to just copy paste Dragon Fire Breath into this thing on its next turn, because that's probably what it's going to be doing, since that's an AoE attack.
Good job, dickweed.
Okay, so let's see who we got left here. So now it goes to Velnos.
Nipple surgery again.
All right, so you're going to attack
So
and
doesn't
carve
have
the shit
nipples.
out of its nipples. That will hit, and since again that's a targeted attack on his chest, that's going to crit. 38 times 2 is 76. So that is enough. So as you slice into it, you continue to slice, and you continue to slice until you reach its heart. And then you plunge the red lightsaber into its heart. The heat from it actually liquefies the heart around it and causes it to explode. Once the creature's heart explodes, it collapses to the ground dead and spewing blood from its mouth. Boris now appears horrified. My Karen, what have you done? Oh no! You have now officially defeated all 3 of the ex-wives.
Now I'm going to load up an LSD bolt, and I'm going to shoot the Emperor.
Go ahead, it's going to be an attack of opportunity. Oh my god! He can't roll to resist the LSD arrow at this point. Even a Constitution roll will not do that, and the damage is going to crit. So you shot him right in the ass with that thing. Roll for damage. It's going to be regular damage. It's going to be 5d10, but it's going to be doubled. 22. That's 44 damage. And he's tripping balls. So what happens is your bolt flies into Boris's ass. As it impacts him, his eyes begin to change into technicolor fucking rainbows and shit. Rainbows begin shooting out of his body, including his ass. And he begins to expand at a rapid rate, and you're not really sure what's going to happen until his body physically explodes and splatters blood and emperor guts everywhere. Boris is extremely dead, because the shield that was around his body was directly linked to the life of all 3 of those creatures that you killed. So as soon as you killed the 3rd ex-wife, the shield no longer existed. There is also still the chest with 450,000 gold sitting in it.
And we got to keep the weapons.
I want to search for the rings.
Oh, okay. You do find the rings, but the rings appear, even though they did appear kind of glowy before with like a blue light, now they don't have any kind of a light at all. They're just kind of dark and dim. He had 3 of them. You're able to discern that maybe they had something to do with the 3 creatures.
Let's go get the gold.
Gertrude brings down the ship and lands it on the ground next to where you guys have killed all 3 of these creatures. The entire crew comes out, so you have Carlos, Ignacio, Kira, Fleetwood, and Gertrude, and Ishmael, and they have all emerged from the ship, and they are ready to celebrate and party with you all. And now, the campaign has officially ended. You guys have gotten your super weapons, you've gotten your gold as well, which is 450,000 in that chest, and that's how this fucking story ends.
God damn it!
Yes!
Shut the fuck up! No! 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 I purposely bypassed this! No!
I think you had something to do with this. Gods!
It's because I'm black, isn't it?
You know, Sharon.
Hello, sir!
Mage! Get in there, Private!
Yes, sir! I am ready to eat crayons for my country, sir!
I hate you.
Alright, so,
Before we continue, Mike, I am now Goku because I have the Dragon Balls.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my god. Well, you only have 1.
Damn, you just got cock blocked by a midget.
Nuh-uh.
all of the damage except for the 12 damage that Vash did has been directly to his balls.